Alright, so we got a bunch of Panther stuff. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We have another really cool special guest coming up tomorrow. I appreciate all the comments on the video from yesterday with Randy Moeller. There's more to come. Now, how many forwards can we have? Now, we'll talk about the Montour situation in a second, but we just added Mamin. Guess that's how we're going to call him. We're just going to call him the M&M man. I think I like that better. We're calling him M&Ms. Now, Verhaeghe reports it's going to be a one-year deal under $1 million, and he thinks that Mamin slots into our middle six. Where? I mean, I like him as a player, don't get me wrong, but to me, this is clearly a depth signing, a guy that might make it into the lineup on the fourth line, or be a healthy scratch, be a good depth player in case of injury. That's the way I see it. The thing is, we just got the video I made 2 days ago, we got too many guys already, so it's not a complaint. We have ridiculous depth. We also have no room, with the exception of Lundell, for our kids to come up, for Danisenko, Heponiemi, Louis Starinen. Unless something unexpected happens, those kids aren't making the team, or at least they're not going to be playing every night. Alex Wenberg goes to Seattle, so that pretty much sums up that Lundell is slotted in at 3C. We assume that as fans, but you never know. Maybe that's why they're keeping Hornquist. Maybe in Q's mind, you've got, Hornquist slotted in at 3C, and we're going to let people like Lundell and Mamin fight it out for a roster spot at winger. We don't know, and Q usually surprises us, right? So the other thing that happened yesterday, just like I said at the end of yesterday's video, where I was talking about the rest of the moves that the Panthers made, I said, I'm sure that while I'm uploading this, we're going to do something else. And we did. We re-signed Brandon Montour to, I think it's 3 times 3.5, which, again, was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought we were going to kind of go out and get somebody that was a little bit more of a sure top 4 defenseman, right? Now, Montour has been good and bad in his career. He came, in the trade last year. He wasn't bad. He was good. He had a couple of goals. He looked good in terms of being a purely offensive defenseman. But in the playoffs, wasn't exactly excited to see how he played defensively. You know what I mean? So I was kind of surprised to see that was the move that we made, because that pretty much fills out the D core, right? That's going to either put him in the top 4 or him on the, and Gudis at the bottom, or, flip-flop one way or another. But basically, that fills out the defense, and we've got like 6 guys that are going to be competing for 6, 7, and I guess 8D. So the competition is good. Don't get me wrong. But again, unless somebody's moving, we got a hell of a lot of players. There's going to be some interesting roster decisions. Now, maybe part of why we re-signed Montour is because we knew we were getting ready to re-sign Verhaeghe. Now, this year he's still got the $1 million cap hit, but we signed him to a 3-year extension at $4 per, which I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit surprised to see him get that much money, considering what Duclair got. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess, obviously Verhaeghe had the good season. Don't get me wrong. I like Verhaeghe. I want him on this team. I didn't see him getting more money than Duclair. If he continues to play at that pace, it's a good deal. I'm a little bit surprised, considering our cap situation and considering we haven't extended Barkov or Reinhardt. I'm a little bit surprised that we just didn't wait things out, give him another 30 or 40 games to double check and triple check that he's the player we think he is before we extended him. But I'm not complaining. I like what Zito's doing. We are re-signing our guys and creating just a tremendous amount of competition across the board. So, forward-wise, again, this solidifies things, and I see everybody making their lineups, and that's fine. And what we basically have now is, you know, we have two top lines. We have two number one lines any way that you slice it. Because if you don't think a lot of teams would be happy with having like a Bennett, Huberto, Duclair top line, all right, there's teams out there that would be just fine if that was the best line on their hockey team. And that's not even our second, you know, it's not, that's arguably not even what would be our second best, you know, in terms of who would be on that winger, Duclair or Tippett or Hornquist or Mamin or. So I don't really expect us, obviously, at this point to go out and get anybody else unless we move. Really, the only money left to move at this point is Hornquist. And I asked the question on Twitter if anybody was interested in, you know, moving Hornquist and going after Suter or, you know, or a defenseman, you know, a veteran defenseman. And it was clear 100% across the board no. So fans are happy. Zito's happy. Question was asked, where's the Barkov extension? Now, I put it out there on Twitter. I kind of said maybe what happened was Barkov said, look, I want to win a cup. I'm staying. Go sign the team that's going to win a cup. Then come back to me and let's talk. Let's see how much money you got left and we'll make it work. It wouldn't surprise me, like Karen said in response to the tweet, it wouldn't actually surprise me if it went down a little bit like that. The Huberto thing, we can't extend him for the next, you know, until the next season, so there's no sense in worrying about that. So right now it looks like, I don't want to say we're done, but unless somebody leaves, we're done. There's no room left, really. We've got to re-sign Barkov. The Verhaeghe deal's done. Montour is really the only surprise. I'm really surprised that we didn't. Players must have been asking too much money. Obviously, I'm sure we made inquiries to some of these other guys. But hopefully Montour, a year in the system, a year with the team in the offseason and everything, he can kind of settle down and be a little bit more consistent. He was a little bit all over the board. I do like him offensively, don't get me wrong. Tampa is suffering some big losses as well. I'm hearing that maybe even Braden Point might be moving on. That would be a kick in the nuts for Tampa. I know so far, I mean, look, they lost Gordon. Now if you lose Point, they still have Vasilevsky. They still have Kucherov and Stamkos. So they're still going to be right up there. But they've lost a couple of players. They're not going to be as invincible as they've been. Let's put it that way. And they've played a lot of hockey. They've won 2 in a row. So I think it's time for a new Cup champion. And what Zito is putting together, as long as we get the proper goaltending, this is a team that can win the Cup. This roster, the way it is, provided we're healthy and we get proper goaltending, we are in the Cup window. We are in the Cup conversation. There's no looking at this team and denying it at this point. So that was it. I am sure that by the time I have this uploaded, something new will happen or something the opposite of what I just said might happen is going to happen. But that's okay. It's keeping me busy, all right? So I might have something out later about the Dolphins because just like this with the Panthers, as soon as I uploaded my thoughts on Xavier Howard reporting for camp, he decided to go on Instagram and basically ask for a trade. So now I'm going to have to say something about that. And by the time that video is uploaded, they will either have him signed or traded. And to make that video mute, but that's okay. That's what you guys enjoy that. You guys love watching the videos where by the time I say it, it's already, you know, invalid. We'll put it that way. All right. I'll see you guys again later.